Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Raj here. It has certainly been a while since I have recorded my last video, and sorry if my voice sounds a little sickish. I've not really been feeling that well over the past, few weeks or so, and I've also had a lot of testing going on in school, but that's besides the point because today we are going to be covering iOS 14.5 and iOS 14.5.1. So basically, also all of the betas up until 14.5 and also all of Apple's software up until now. As you guys will see, in the title and the thumbnail, of course. So we are going to go over all of the new features. So first off, this is going to be a bit of a demonstration, but let's say you are wearing a mask and you want to unlock your iPhone. Well, you can do that now with Face ID on your Apple Watch. Oh, well, like basically, like you can use your Apple Watch to use Face ID again. So as long as you have an Apple Watch unlocked and on your wrist, you'll be able to essentially use Face ID on your iPhone. So let me just get my mask real quick and I'll show you guys what I mean. So now that I have my mask on, let me just actually put it on. So I now have a mask on. So my voice might sound a little muffled to you guys, so I'm sorry about that. Now I have a mask on, so because I'm doing this for demonstration purposes. But I will also post like on the screen here, since I'm not doing a face, like, that I don't have a face cam point of view of this. But what I will show you guys is like sort of a screenshot on screen right next to the phone of like what the Apple Watch says. But as you can see there, Face ID works just like normal. It says unlocking and it unlocks. So that is how it works with a mask on, which is pretty cool. That is one of the numerous new features. Now, going over the next feature in iOS 14.5 and 14.5.1 is now that you can set a new default music player. So if we go to music here, we can now choose which app we want in order to essentially set, like, as our default music player. So, we can use Spotify, we can use basically just about any music app, which is pretty cool. And there's over 200 new emojis in iOS 14.5 and 14.5.1. So let's just start a new conversation with myself. Let's see here. So we're going to go there. And as you can see here, we have a few different emojis. Let's go to headphones, for example. So as you can see there, that's one of them. And if we go to, let's see, if we go to a syringe, that's another new one. And there's plenty of brand new emojis, guys, if you want to check them out. But that is one of the new features, or well, new things there in 14.5. And what you can also now do is you can stream Fitness Plus workouts with AirPlay. So if you have an AirPlay enabled TV, let's say for example, and you have Apple Fitness Plus, you can essentially with that workout stream it to a TV or whatever you want, basically, which is pretty cool. So I do have Fitness Plus, of course. So if you go to, like, let's say this, for example, you can hit this. Then if you go here, you would just hit let's go, and then obviously I'm not going to play it, but if you click this button here, you can now AirPlay it to basically anything you would want to. So you can AirPlay it to, say, like an Apple TV, a HomePod Mini, HomePod, basically whatever you want. So that is how that works there. And now for our next feature, sorry again about my voice, we have app tracking transparency. So this is something that Apple has been really praised for, and companies like Facebook have really started to hate. Is this feature right here? Which for me, the only reason it's grayed out, because this has happened for some users, at least in 14.5. Apple fixed this in 14.5.1, where some users had it grayed out like this. But I actually have it grayed out because I'm under 18. So anybody that's under 18 will not be able to use this feature, unfortunately. But what it essentially will be able to do for those that can use it is that you can opt in or out to apps tracking basically your data. So what that means is that if, say, you don't want them tracking your data, then you will not be getting, like, personalized ads and that kind of stuff on, like, say, platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, that kind of thing. Whereas if you opt in, you will be getting those personalized ads, and therefore they'll be profiting off of your data. So if I had the choice in this, basically, I would opt out, like most people have already. 96% of users have decided to opt out of this kind of tracking. So that just goes to show people don't want their data being sold. So sorry to say, Facebook, we don't want us. We don't want you selling our data. But another cool new feature as well. Now, this is a very small one for those that have this. I do not, unfortunately. But it is dual SIM 5G global support. So, what that means is that since there is two SIMs in any iPhone from the iPhone 10R and up, there's a physical SIM and an eSIM. So basically, with any iPhone 12, 12 Pro, 12 Pro Max, or 12 Mini, that obviously has 5G. So any 5G enabled iPhone 12 really. They will be getting dual SIM 5G support, which means on your physical SIM and your eSIM, you can have 5G coverage, which is fantastic. And it's also something Apple promised us in 14.5 anyway, so they delivered on that. We also get some Siri updates as well, and by Siri updates, I mean new voices for Siri. So to switch Siri's voice, you simply go into Settings, and then you go under Siri, and you go under Siri Voice, as you guys can see there on screen. And you have a variety of accents as well as a variety of voices. Now, me personally, I keep it just on the default one, so the American one and voice 4. That's the one I keep it on personally. So that's the one I have there. And the last little tidbit of 14.5/14.5.1 is console controller support. So basically, now you can have PS5 controllers and Xbox Series X controllers, hooked up to your devices that have 14.5 or 14.5.1 on them. And the other notable mention from 14.5.1 is some security updates. So it's mainly just a bug fix slash security update, so it's a pretty small one. But mainly it was released a few days ago because there was obviously that issue with the app tracking transparency feature, and because there were some web exploits found. So Apple patched those up. And yeah, so basically that is all that is brand new in 14.5 for the most part. Alright, guys, we are also actually going to cover basically iOS 14.6 as well, since it now is officially out to the public. So, without further ado, we are going to go through some of the new features. So, some new features of 14.6 include adding a contact email when your AirTag is in lost mode. So, of course, with Apple's recent introduction of AirTags, we now have that. We also now have hi-fi support for Apple Music, which is pretty cool. Now, as far as the hi-fi updates go, there is some specifics to it. So with AirPods, for example, they will not work with basically what's called the lossless audio spec. So that unfortunately will not work. Now, supposedly there is an update coming to the HomePods that is going to allow for lossless audio, but in order to actually, listen to lossless audio, you'll have to have basically some wired headphones plug into your, basically your iPhone, iPad, Mac, etc. So that is what is new there. We also got Apple Card Family. So now there is more integration as far as Apple Card goes. So, if somebody, like, say, a parent has an Apple Card and the kid wants to buy something with the parent's permission, now you can allow your kid to buy something with your Apple Card, which is pretty convenient. And then we also now have some updates to podcasts. I know podcasts has, had quite a few issues, so, we finally got some updates to that. We got some new accessibility settings and some issues that were actually fixed from 14.5 and 14.5.1 as well. So these issues include the unlocking with Apple Watch, which might not work after, using lock iPhone on Apple Watch. So as soon as, like, say, you tap that lock iPhone button, it'll be a little stubborn as far as it working. So now Apple has resolved that. Reminders may appear as blank lines. Apple has finally fixed that. Call blocking extensions may not appear in settings, so Apple has, fixed that as well. Bluetooth devices could sometimes disconnect or send audio to a different device during an active call. So I know that there was definitely some Bluetooth issues as far as that went, but now that is all fixed. And the iPhone may experience reduced performance during startup. So again, that's another issue that was also fixed. But as far as like the overall UI goes of 14.6, it's actually fairly consistent and fairly smooth, which is great. Which means that, I mean, I've not done this in a while, but I'm going to run a quick Geekbench for you guys just to kind of show you, what kind of performance I'm getting here on my 12 Pro. But as far as, like, overall public release, I mean, 14.6 is pretty solid, and in a matter of days, we are going to be seeing iOS 15 and the next generation operating systems from Apple. So we'll be seeing iOS 15, the next version of macOS. We'll also be seeing the next versions of watchOS, as well as several other operating systems as well, I'm sure. So WWDC is going to be quite awesome, honestly. But we are just running our test here for Geekbench, and it seems like it's actually going pretty smooth and pretty fast. We're already almost halfway done with the test. In fact, it's only been like, less than a minute already? And yeah, I mean, this 12 Pro is absolutely killing it as far as the test goes. We're only now just crossing a minute, and we're a little over halfway, which is quite nice, actually. If you guys look at the progress bar there. Oh, and another notable issue I wanted to mention that is now finally fixed for me, which is great. I mean, for the most part, it still happens like here and there on YouTube videos, but if you guys had display issues with your 12 and 12 Pro, I would say by now, for the most part, it should be fixed, because I used to have that, like, flickering issue, where on the black bars, it would flicker from here and there when you were, like, in a very dark environment, and the brightness was above 90%. People had those flickering issues, so did I, but, I mean, for the most part now, that is all fixed, which is great. It's honestly a really annoying thing to have to go through, but yeah, now it looks like Apple, for the most part, has fixed it, which is absolutely incredible. And it looks like we are just wrapping up the test here, so it should be around the 2-minute mark, it looks like, maybe a little over 2 minutes, which is not bad. Yeah, we'll go a little over 2 minutes. Yeah, so 2 minutes and a second. So if you look at our score here, we have 1577 for the single core and 3727 for the multi-core. So that is a nice side-by-side comparison there with the average 12 Pro for single core, and that is an average comparison side-by-side with the average 12 Pro for multi-core. So you can see there that, that's down by, I'd say, like maybe a few hundred points there, just giving an estimate. And then as far as the single core performance goes, it's very close. It's off by like 10 points. So that's not terrible, I would say, based on the averages there. And we are also going to test my Wi-Fi speeds as well as this, shortcut I'm sure you guys remember. So let's do that. Looks like it was pretty fast. And we are now also, sorry about that, we are now also going to test that. Looks like it works just fine. Looks like this also works just fine. And we can just click exit there. Now we can jump into speed test and test our Wi-Fi speeds, which we should be getting really good Wi-Fi speeds. Yeah, we are getting really fantastic Wi-Fi speeds here. So looks like download is in like the low 300s, which, you know, is not terrible. Looks like it ended in the high 200s. And as far as upload goes, it's going to be probably around like maybe 13, 14, or 15 megabits per second. Looks like it's going up. So it might even cross 20, but we'll see, of course. It might get close. Yeah, like 19.1. So that is not bad as far as Wi-Fi speeds go. But yeah, so really that is iOS 14.5 Beta 1 through iOS 14.6 public release. So that's just about it there. And you know, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, also comment, and subscribe if you are brand new to the channel. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.